Stephen, did you have some information on that flood advisory?
I was just looking at that flood advisory that we just took a look at was for parts of Oklahoma. The new one that we just got, though, includes area of Fort Smith, Springdale, Bentonville, Salem Springs, Poto, pretty much our entire viewing area that you were just saying. About a ½ inch up to an inch of rainfall has fallen. Now, on top of that, what we've got right now is just a very mess out there right now with a lot of heavy rainfall. What the National Weather Service is saying. Additionally, we could see about a ½ inch up to an inch and a half more of rainfall, which would, of course, lead to the threat for some of that minor flooding. Now, Chief Meteorologist Scott Covert mentioned earlier is that we're not talking about that river flooding. Maybe some isolated areas, sure, but what we're talking about here is those low-lying areas. Geography plays a huge part in this. You know those low-lying areas, your neighborhoods and those streets, side roads as well. If they usually flood during events like this is that type of event now that it's turning into, that we could see some of that minor flooding from northwest Arkansas, eastern Oklahoma, and the river valley, even if you live west of that line of thunderstorms that Chief Meteorologist Scott Covert's pointing out there. You live west of it, you're clear from the wind damage threat right now, but you've still got a lot of rainfall to work through as well, and that's going to be that inch to an inch and a half more of rainfall that could lead to some flooding concern. Take a look across the area, pretty much everywhere right now. Dark, gloomy, rainy, but also a few areas ahead of that line of thunderstorms, still very windy out there as well. Driving conditions not ideal when it gets like this, but overall, Fort Smith there, what you see, a little bit of rain on the camera there. Driving seems to be okay right in front of Mercy there. But you still see a lot of those dark clouds. That's because we still got a lot of rain to work through as well. Over the river there in Ozark, not too bad. Dark, gloomy, very rainy, but you also see some of that wind. If you get a close look at some of those treetops, you can see how strong that wind is there. And there in Fayetteville, of course, one of our new cameras there. Gorgeous shot there, and looking into campus, really nice new camera, but painting a good picture of just how much rainfall we're going to get. We knew that this was eventually going to be the trend that we were going to follow this morning, that we're going to have this very strong line of thunderstorms, but when it started to weaken, the system starts to spread out, the system starts to slow down, and then when it slowed us down, we were just talking about that actually yesterday. Important reminder, this week is Severe Weather Awareness Week. Yesterday's topic was flooding, so everything we covered yesterday morning, that's what we've got for today. Flooding risk now, and they are updating that severe thunderstorm. Are they updating that, or is that just how that?
Yeah, I think that's just an update. I think they've trimmed parts of Fort Smith, the west side, out of that warning. Threat continues to slowly progress off towards the east. Okay, so current time, 9:12. Want to kind of recap what the heck are we doing here? There is a severe thunderstorm warning that remains in effect. You can see Doppler radar scanning that through parts of Crawford, soon to move into western Franklin County, Logan, and even parts of Scott County. That's the most intense part of the line. There is some high winds in northwest Arkansas. We're just going to stay on until the threat's entirely over. That's what we're doing here, okay? I don't want you thinking we're on because we're concerned that this is going to be a super high impact event. We're not looking at a big tornado outbreak. In fact, I'll tell you by the minute our tornado potential continues to decrease. It was already pretty low to begin with, and now it's even lower. We just want to provide some comfort to the folks out there that may have a little bit of storm anxiety or may just look out the window and think, wow, it's really windy out there. What's going on? We just want to be here on Facebook, on YouTube, and most importantly on 5+, just to provide some insight as to what's happening. No current tornado warnings. There was a time in the day way back when tornado warnings were the only reason that you would see the meteorologist go on air or online. We don't have to do that anymore. Those severe thunderstorm warnings are just as concerning to us, and so we just want to be here just to provide some comfort and some insight as to what we're tracking. That's what we're looking at. Once this threat is entirely passed through the area, then we'll probably hop off, and it'll rain, probably continuing for the next few hours. I think by maybe noon, early afternoon, a lot of this first round pushes off towards the east. There could be some additional rain later this afternoon, scattered showers, maybe a clap of thunder, probably not severe. Snow potentially on the backside of the system later tonight, north of I-40. In the meantime, though, we'll focus here on what is severe and what is pressing, and it is going to be what is a weakening line of storms. What we'll do, we'll work our way from the north to the south. First in northwest Arkansas. Here's where that heaviest band of rain is. You can kind of pinpoint it. It's messy. A lot of heavy rain across northwest Arkansas. The heaviest, though, now moving into Bentonville, Bella Vista, Rogers soon, Lowell soon, Springdale now, Fayetteville now, Winslow now, Greenland now, all that pushing off towards the east, and that eventually moves into Carroll and Madison County. I know you got some rain out there right now, but as this narrow band moves your direction, expect those winds to pick up, perhaps up to about 50 miles per hour. In fact, yep, that's exactly what the Weather Service just said, 50 miles per hour out of that line segment. We get a little bit further towards the south, and we're coming up on when that warning is set to expire here in about a minute, right around 9:15. And at this point, it looks like they're probably, okay, they did. It's expired. This storm has weakened below severe limits. With that said, as this line now moves into parts of western Franklin County, western Logan County, 50-mile-per-hour winds are still going to be capable with this specific line itself, in addition to the rain, which is heavy, especially in the line, but even out ahead of it, you've got some moderate to heavy rainfall, and that's where you start to see a little bit of flash flooding become more of a concern. Back behind this line, so from Alma through Mountainburg, Fort Smith, Cowington, Pecola, Roland, Podo, Salisaw, Muldrow, Heavener and Worcester, you've got some rain moving your direction, but we're not expecting any severe weather. West of this line, I can give you the all clear. Now, east of this line, as it continues moving, can't do that just yet, but soon we will be able to. Well, there's nothing severe at the moment. I'd like to stay here on plus for just a little bit longer, okay? Just to make sure nothing tries to spin up. We can do that. We don't have to worry about covering up programming, and that's the great part about streaming these days is we can provide people information. If you want to tune in or if you want to hang out with us, we'd love to have you. But if you got other things to do, right now, nothing severe. Current time's 9:15. Our warnings have expired. There are some watches that are remaining in effect for the viewing area, and those are going to look like this. Tornado watch in effect for Scott and Polk County in our neck of the woods. Elsewhere across northwest Arkansas and the River Valley. On the Arkansas side, that's a severe thunderstorm watch in pink. Those are both set to expire at 11 o'clock this morning, but what you'll notice is as that line of intense rain and wind pushes further east, the severe weather threat drops off. The Weather Service is canceling these counties one row at a time, essentially. So soon what you're going to find is Washington, Benton, Washington, Crawford, Sebastian, probably going to be dropped from the watch. Eventually, the Weather Service out of Little Rock, who is responsible for covering Scott County, will drop Scott County from that tornado watch probably within the next 10 to 15 minutes, if I had to guess. Certainly, it's probably not going to run through 11 o'clock as it's initially was originally set to do. The threat now is going to be for Carroll, Madison, Crawford, Johnson, Logan counties. That's where we could see some of those winds. Even then, I think that window is closing, especially as these storms trying to really rain themselves out. We'll go back to live Doppler radar, and you can see that very narrow band of heavy rain. That's where those winds are going to be the strongest. We can peel back the layers of Doppler radar and we can say, hey, just show me what the winds are. This can be a little bit trippy to look at. There's a lot of colors. Generally speaking, reds and yellows, those are winds blowing away from the radar. These greens and blues, that's winds blowing towards the Fort Smith radar. If you were to get a couple of those really bright colors to co-locate or to kind of twist and spin, that would be some areas of rotation. I'm not seeing that. This is predominantly a damaging wind threat from here on out. We'll watch Scott County for the last little bit. Here's the leading edge of that line. It's moving into eastern Scott County, but once we pass over into Yell, we're done with that tornado potential for our neck of the woods. We'll want to watch this northern flank a little closely. It does look like there very well could be some high winds now pretty much running right on top of I-49. Soon that's passing towards the east, so heads up if you live east of 49 in Benton or Washington County. Winds are about to pick up. They're picking up now, and that's going to continue to be the case over the next few minutes. So that's what radar is suggesting to us in terms of wind. I keep going back to this just to make sure there's not a little eddy trying to develop, and at times there have been, but nothing has actually ever spun up for us, right? And that's the good news for us at this point. Had a little bit of damage trying to appear on Doppler radar earlier. Turns out it wasn't anything storm related. Radar just had a little bit of a hiccup. That's really good news for us. I'll tell you, when you look at the wind profiles of this system, you can't find a better wind profile to support tornadoes. But winds are only one ingredient when it comes to severe weather. There's really four main ones: shear, wind shear; lift, which is going to be the front that's moving through; instability; and moisture. The instability, or storm fuel, you can call it whatever you want, same thing. it was just really low. Had it been any higher at all, we would have been looking at a very different setup, a very different outcome from today. So while there are damaging winds, and there maintains some straight line winds coming out of this system, the fact that there is such low storm fuel tells us our tornado threat probably next to zero at this point. I wouldn't call it zero just yet, but we're certainly approaching that where we would feel safe to say that. We'll have to track this as it pushes a little bit further towards the east. Boy, it's messy out there. We needed some rain. That's some really good news, especially across parts of Benton County. Drought was starting to creep up. Every week we get a new drought monitor every Thursday. Drought had been slowly but surely increasing, despite the fact that we saw a little bit of snow in the last couple of weeks. When it all melts down, it just wasn't enough. So this is going to be a good soaking rain. Does it erase it entirely? Probably not, but it puts a dent into it, and that's really the most we can ask for at this point. Right now, nothing severe. If you're just now tuning in, we're live on Facebook, YouTube, and on 5+. Been here all morning as these storms rolled through. And we just wanted to be a place that you could always come to get you through the storm. A lot of folks have storm anxiety, especially across parts of the area that were hard hit just less than a year ago. And so we just wanted to be here for you to make sure we can give you some information, pass along what we know as we know it, when we know it, just so you can make plans accordingly. High winds are our primary concern at this point. Now, you've